Those are the birds that live outside of my windows. They're really loud all the time. Excuse them. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Alyssa and you're amazing for being here. Today we're going to talk about living in Spain. So today on my channel I'm doing a video on the pros and cons of living in Spain. I've been living in Spain for about a little over a year now, and there are definitely some things that I love and some things that I had to learn to love about living here. Now with moving to Spain there came a lot of awesome things and a lot of definitely trying things. For instance, speaking Spanish. Now I had to take Spanish in high school, I took it in college, and you'd think like all of that repetition I would have gotten it, but it's one of those things you learn geometry in school. Unless you're going to be a scientist, you're like, I'm never going to use that. And I had never planned on moving to Spain, so I had never planned on using it. But then you fall in love, and the guy you end up marrying, his job makes him move to Spain. So here we are. My Spanish isn't great, but I can kind of get by. It's easier for me to tell someone what I need versus actually understanding what they're saying back to me because they talk so fast. And then also, like in America, they teach us like Mexican Spanish, which is like completely different than Spain Spanish. It's like if you went to Britain to learn American English. It's the same thing, but you have completely different words for completely different things, and it's all different. I had to learn how to drive a manual. When we first got to Spain, we had brought an automatic car, but it didn't last very long here. So we had to get a Spanish, like a European spec car. Most European spec cars are manuals. When I lived in America, I had an automatic car, a sports car mind you, that most people said that I should have had in a manual. But I never learned how to drive a manual because most cars are automatic, so why would you bother, right? But when I got here, I had to learn how to drive a manual. So that was a fun challenge, which I'm still slowly overcoming. I can pretty much get from point A to point B, but I had like as soon as I get out of first gear I'm good, but going from like stop through first gear and continuing on always seems to drag me a little bit. When I had the first few weeks that I was doing it, I definitely stalled. In Spain, it's very sunny. Like right now I'm basically just using the light from outside and it's like almost 6 o'clock here. 6 or 7 o'clock and it's still like really bright outside. Another thing is it's really sunny from like 8 in the morning till 10 at night during the summer, and then during the winter / fall time, which we're in now, it's still pretty sunny from like 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. And when you go out during the middle of the day, if you don't have sunglasses on, your eyes though. Every time I walk out that door, sunglasses are key. Watching TV in Spain is a process. One, not only are regular Spanish channels in Spanish, but if you want to use anything like Hulu, Netflix, Pandora even, you have to use like a special website that allows you to actually access those things. Netflix is actually supposed to be coming to Spain, but I feel like it's going to be in Spanish, so it's probably not going to do me any good either way. Another thing about Spain is that to me it's almost like living in a time warp a little bit. Most places don't accept a credit card, so you have to have cash on you. Most places out in public don't have Wi-Fi, so if you don't have like internet on your phone or a phone plan that has a data plan, you can't use the internet outside of your like house or anything like that. Another really odd thing is like back in the States, like on Sundays, a lot of stuff would be closed because it was Sunday. Like it would either be closed or it would close early. And nowadays, most stuff's open regular hours. But here, they have a lot of Spanish holidays, so those days everything's closed. Like you go out and everything's closed. There's a lot of Mondays that things are just closed because it's Monday. And then the other thing is like you'll go out to try and go shopping, and if it's anywhere between like 1:32 to like 4:30, there's a good chance that wherever you're going is going to be closed. So because everybody goes home for nap time, lunchtime, and then they come back and they'll be open from like 4:35 until like 8 or 9 o'clock, and then they go start having dinner. So it's super weird. Like you definitely have to know where you're going and if it's actually going to be open before you even try to get there. Another thing that I've had to adjust to is that houses in Spain don't generally come with central air conditioning because the walls are cement, So if it had such a thing, it probably wouldn't really hold very well. During the summertime, like you keep your windows open, you have fans blowing. We have a few like AC units in specific rooms in our house. So like the days that it got really hot, we would just leave them on all day. There's one behind the camera over on the wall, and we turn on that one and it would blow out of the living room that I'm in now, and we'd have fans all the way down the hallway blowing it to the kitchen because the kitchen's on the other side of the house, and it would get so hot cooking in there during the summertime that I literally would be like dying. So I'm so glad now that it's fall. It's gotten cooler, we can keep the windows and the doors and stuff open and just have the breeze blowing in. So nice. It was funny because last summer when I went home to visit, it was actually really weird for me to go like in somewhere that had AC because I wasn't used to it, so it was so cold every store and stuff that I went into. Another thing about Spain that I have not been very fond of is bugs. There are roaches everywhere. I found one that came in through our AC unit. It scared the crap out of me. And ever since then, we use Raid Barrier spray around the yard. We have the little like poison traps in the basement. So most of the ones we find now, they're usually already dead when we discover them, which is awesome because finding them alive terrifies me. But I feel like I've seen them so much at this point that I've kind of like they don't bother me. Like they still bother me obviously, but they don't like, I'm not as scared because I've seen them so often. It's like a regular thing, like you find, I guess, I don't know. There's no good analogy to being like used to something you don't like. I've grown a tolerance for seeing them, which is a good and a bad thing, I guess. But it helps when I clean the house. I don't freak out when I find a dead one now. There are a few like great things about living in Spain. Like of course you just like drop yourself into this completely foreign culture, and it's an amazing thing to just experience and travel. And if you haven't watched some of our other videos, we went on a Mediterranean cruise this past summer, and that was amazing. And it's so much easier to get around because you're already here. You don't have that huge long flight across the Atlantic to get over here, and then you have to deal with like jet lag and like getting reacclimated. Like you can just get ready and go. And I can't wait to do more traveling and exploring and all of that stuff like in the coming months. And all the countries are right around us. It's like in the States you can just hop around the States. Here it's like, oh, I want to go to Paris for the weekend. Okay, cool, let's hop on a plane and go. It's like a couple hours. When I first came here, the first month that I was here, my husband came out here before I did, and the first time I came out to visit him, I didn't get a card for my phone. When we went out, I didn't have Wi-Fi. I only had Wi-Fi when we were in the house, or if we were somewhere that specifically had Wi-Fi, which isn't a lot of places. I was really used to going out and not being able to play on my phone. So when I went home to visit after that, when I went back to the States, I went out to dinner with like friends, family, and like everyone's always on their phone. Like I went out to dinner with some of my friends and literally we sat down at the table and all of them were on their phones. And it was just so weird to me because I was used to not doing it for like months at that point. Guys, like we're here, we're together, like can we interact and not all be on Facebook interacting with other people that you've already been like looking at all day? There are a lot of amazing things about living in Spain. I hope this video is informative for you guys, my friends, family, interwebs, about living in a different place, and I hope you guys stay amazing and leave comments below if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next week. Stay amazing. Bye!